Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you another video. All right, so rumors. A deal that we've already talked about is being discussed pretty seriously, according to the rumors that I'm hearing. The Lakers and the Jazz are trying to finalize. They're trying to get it done, from what I understand. Uh, Vanderbilt, Conley, Beasley, Westbrook, Damian Jones, first round pick. Not sure what the foundation of the first round pick would be. Unprotected, swap. I don't know, but it's only one pick mentioned. It's a meet you halfway kind of deal. I think that we're doing with Danny Ainge in the sense that I do believe that all of that could be helpful to us. Um, and Vanderbilt is a player you should desire, coupled with Beasley at 2 years on their price should be good for the making you happy. Conley's supposed to irritate you at $22 million over the next 2 years. Next trade deadline, maybe you get lucky and be able to move him. Try to sell a team on him expiring at 22 million. I mean, we're pulling it off with Westbrook at 47. Can't be the worst thing in the world. Hopefully, Conley has a good season next year. I don't think he's having a bad season this year. To be honest with you, he's playing pretty well. Getting Russell Westbrook off this team is important because what you want to do is fix the chemistry. That's basically what it is. It's been reported that he and Darvin Ham had some sort of an exchange, although it wasn't that serious. So why are you reporting it other than the fact you want us to know that it was something, but it wasn't that serious, which is just stupid because it messes with your leverage when you even let us know that. So it's probably either somebody who didn't want us to have leverage in a Westbrook trade releasing that information, or we're just not smart enough to know that we probably shouldn't be releasing that type of information. Whatever the case may be, we're probably going to be able to get Russell Westbrook done anyway. I would be surprised if the Jazz releasing that, by the way. They're probably trying to get us to throw a little more into the deal than what we already were leading up to agreeing to, if that makes any sense. Um, so for me, I mean, look, like I said, this is a meet you halfway deal. Everybody knows Danny Ainge is going to try to fleece you. This is a push your limit type of deal. Like, this is as far as you're going to go. You wouldn't pull the trigger on anything more, anything less than what this looks like. You're not winning the trade, but it's a good enough trade to where you ain't lose the trade. And I think Vanderbilt is a good enough player to where you feel really good about whatever happens. He's one of those type of pieces. Like, if for some reason we lose Conley to a season-ending injury and it turns out to be a very bad contract, at least we got Vanderbilt in 2 years. It's that kind of thing. At least we got Beasley can shoot for 2 years. That kind of thing. And the pick is like, because Russell Westbrook is attached to this, it's almost like the difference in his salary contract being expiring 47 versus the 2 years that you're getting with Conley 22 plus a little more energy with Vanderbilt. Of course, is a nice piece, and Beasley is a nice piece. 2 year deals. And then you're looking at Damian Jones, who's also a salary dump, given the fact that most people want you to throw in 2 picks to get rid of Russell Westbrook. You're considering a somewhat of a discount because you're taking back things that you can considerably use, even though it's in salary that you don't really want to take back, in multiple years that you don't really want to take back. And you're giving up a first round pick you definitely don't want to give up. But getting rid of a Westbrook that you definitely need to get rid of, and a Damian Jones contract that just he needs to go. So, like, for all the trash that we're giving them, even though it's coming off of their books at a very nice premium of $47 million, they're taking back Damian Jones, and they're giving us pieces we can use, even though it benefits them to get all that off their books. So it's like, you know what I mean? You will settle for a Danny Ainge graceful trade, is what that is. By way of what else he's done, this is grace upon you, Lakers, given the fact that you have your circumstances. You're not supposed to walk away from this happy, but you should walk away from it having feel like you fed your stomach. You know what I'm saying? You're not starving anymore. You're full. This took care of it. It didn't taste good, but you're full. So you needed a meal if we fed you. It's that kind of thing. Um, I mean, I'm not against it because I'm big on Vanderbilt. I like Beasley enough and think of our situation as a need for shooting enough to want to bring him in for sure. I don't like Mike Conley on this team. He's too small. I think we're doubling down on more trouble with that. And I don't think this team is going to bring us a championship if we make this move at all. Nah, you're not that much better, dude. You're still leaning on the same stuff. You're hoping that the coach snaps out of the same stuff, and then you still need to learn certain things to make your team good enough to win games, which is the problem. That's why I told you guys I think the season is over yesterday, just by the way they handled yesterday and by the way winning just didn't seem to be too serious. I think what we're looking at is they're going to go for it. They're going to cram for it, but they're going to fall short because of how they've led up to it. They just don't have the right habits in place. And it's like if they do enough right now, if let's say they make a couple trades and it's amazing and bring back a great amount of talent, now you're going to have to incorporate it into a short period of time, and then we look back at Darvin Ham. Say, what the hell are you going to do with the roster then? You know, it sucks to have gotten this far and then to look at it and say, it's not Bron that's keeping us. We're not mad at Bron, so we don't want to mortgage the picks. That does, you know what I'm saying? It's not Bron that equates to us not having enough or not wanting to do it. It don't even come down to him. It don't actually come down to AD and his health, really, in theory. Although everything is considering him not necessarily being there, so I guess it does. But at the end of the day, it's like the safest thing for the Lakers to do, and I've been saying this, is to trade Anthony Davis to Toronto for like a plethora of human beings that can just make all of this go away. And then you feel a lot better about everything except for the fact that you have that amazing Anthony Davis piece that can bring you to a championship. But if you trade him for enough, he can bring you to a championship and give you more of a base in doing so. That's why I like the Toronto pieces, because I do believe if you bring us a good portion of those forwards, and you just simply move one piece, Anthony Davis, and maybe a couple expiring contracts, now LeBron James has enough. He has players that can help him win, players that can win without him, all kinds of different stuff that makes you feel a lot better about your future. But the Lakers are stubborn, man. They want what they want, and they really don't know what the hell they want as it pertains to how best to get what it is that'll ultimately give them the respect they want. They're just doing things backwards. This is why it's like giving them advice is like, are you going to follow that advice? Do you see the fruit in what I'm saying? Or is it not even in place for you to see it that way? And so that's where I'm at with them. It's like, this is what I would do. But at this point, I just yesterday gave me a full-fledged understanding of what it is we're dealing with and who it is we're dealing with. And it's not, it ain't. It's one of those at this point. At this point, it's like real Laker fans and those of us who really, really want to support LeBron James. Last night it became clear to me that there's two things that need to happen. Either the front office that we have needs to leave, or LeBron James probably going to have to find somewhere else to go to play basketball and enjoy himself and do what it is that he does, because these people are not going to build right. They don't have the right stuff in mind. And unless they're learning right now, and it's nothing good is about to start happening. That's as pessimistic as it sounds. It's exactly what I think is coming. It just is what it is. You know, and it's like, I know we got another couple games to play. Obviously, we got, 30 games left or something like that? All-Star break coming. A lot of good things can happen. But this Mike Conley trade is a just fill your belly because you were really desperate type of trade. And to be honest with you, if I don't think this season is worth salvaging, then what is the point? That's what it really comes down to. You know, and all this time we thought it would lead up to something other than just simply not trusting that we could do the right things to win basketball games, even if we did have the right talent. And so I don't know if people are rumbling about firing Darvin Ham, but I don't think even if you did, you could bring in a coach that can get you there in time. That's the problem. That's why I figured the season was over, because that really is the solution. You fire the rookie coach that can't put the right rotations on the floor, and you bring in somebody who can. But it's like if you were going to do that, you should have did it very soon into the season rather than waiting till the All-Star break basically to come around and making that decision. So then it becomes a situation where you look at Bron and say, bro, it's too late. Like, it's too late, man. They ain't already screwed up. Even if they mortgage everything, even if they bring you what they're supposed to bring you, you're not getting to the mountaintop, bro. This team doesn't have it. And to a point, you're going to need to do some things differently in order to get a team like this to overachieve to that level. You know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. And with Russell out the door, you're much less likely to stay healthy as a unit, because he's the most sturdy piece that we have. which is why I'm hesitant to move him unless it makes sense. But here's the key. Just like with any other expiring piece, if we're not re-signing it, then moving it is the only move. So it brings me back to, it doesn't really matter how much we think we need Russell Westbrook, or even how much we think he's going to help us, or even if he was great in the locker room. If you're not going to re-sign him for any reason at all, then you definitely need to move him at $47 million, which is what I've been saying all year long. But if you're moving him at $47 million for something that's going to make you worse and or make you less cap flexible, as to which that 47 would have done much better for you if you would have just kept it on your books and just came off the books. And then from there you would have what you need in that way. So for me, it's like, unless the trade makes sense, there ain't no sense in even doing it, because the season's already over, even if we do it. So it's like, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And I think last night reflected all of that. They didn't care nothing about winning, because winning's not the motive. Getting to 36 was the motive. Getting them to break the record was the motive. And now we're going to see the team, in my humble opinion, probably tumble. Probably tumble, man. Unless Anthony Davis steps up to the plate and starts getting hungry again and playing like he used to, well, before the injury. And then it's about how long can he do that. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, Darvin Ham could put 4 guard lineups on the floor. It won't matter, because he'll just score in every possession and do defensive things on every possession. And we'll just win games anyway. Even though that's probably not how that plays out. But nevertheless, that in theory, if Anthony's playing at that level, it would be. That's why the whole thing's improbable. So, yeah, man, Laker fans, you know, I wish I was a millennial. I am a millennial, but I wish I was one of these youngsters, even, you know, younger than that, who had the mindset of just enjoying all of this. You know, aiming for stuff that doesn't have anything to do with winning. I just wasn't raised that way, man. You know, and I'm learning that there are certain aspects of life that you have to evolve from. Like, oh, that's an old way. You got to accept new things, new people. People are accepting of one another in different ways. And if you can't get past that, it's like you're stuck in the past. But as it pertains to winning and competition, I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. I don't think that's one of those. That's not like, Grandpa, get off my lawn. I don't think so. No, because that's so manipulatable. You know, when people stop being competitive, then it's people who can easily win. And usually there are people who really want to win. And they're the ones that are trying to dumb down the field so that everybody thinks winning ain't important, so they can stand at the mountaintop. Because I'm telling you, people are like that. Even if you don't value winning, there are obsessive winners who will move mountains and you to win. So as long as that ambition exists, there's a need to be defensive against it, and that's where competition comes from. So if you're telling people to put down their competitive nature, essentially what you're telling them to do is lay down in other areas too. And that I do not think is a culture we should be feeding into. You see what I'm saying? That's how deep it goes for me for some strange reason. But that's what I see, though. I mean, I see guys aiming for the wrong things and winners getting easy victories. Really easy victories in the games that they're playing, not necessarily anything that matters to us. So do we need to adjust our minds and just say, you know what, can we remove the score from the games? Because see, that, my friends, is some real open-minded stuff. Y'all really want to get me to get in this nonsense that y'all got going on? Remove the score entirely. No score. No score. We're judging you by how well you perform on every possession. We're not even taking the score. It doesn't matter how many buckets you score, nothing. It's about how much production you can accumulate in a certain matter of time. And at the end of that game, if your stats match other people's stats, you won. Which would be the score changing, right? You would have the higher score in the end, right? In theory. But apparently not, since we keep heralding all these guys that do so much except for winning. So if you remove the score and just let them run back and forth a bunch of times until the thing ends, and then just herald the guy that looked the best out there, that would make a lot more sense than giving us a score, telling us it matters, and then proceeding to have things take place in between those times that lead the score to look all kinds of weird ways that don't really add up to what we saw. You know what I'm saying? Just remove the score. Because this game can be played a million different ways. That's what I'm trying to express to you guys. If people like Russell Westbrook, the game we're playing ain't the game for him. He needs a score removed. It's about stats. And then you start leveling out different culture based on what it is that comes naturally to his scales. Did I get a triple-double in this game? No. Fail. And we're reaching for triples. And if he don't get them triples within them 48 minutes, he lost. Or he didn't reach his goal. You see what I'm saying? You can make it make sense. You just got to reimagine it. But if you try to keep it in the same way we've been doing it, oh, no, that's disrespectful. Because now you're comparing them to people who did it in a way that wasn't like this and then saying it better. Nah, they're playing a different game, dude. It's just synchronized basketball, swimming, synchronized dancing. That's what this is. So remove the score. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that because you have to remove the score, then you can't bet on the games. But you can be able to bet on that, right? Just like any other subdivision of gambling, Texas Hold'em and type of other little sub stuff. It ain't the main game, but you take the cards and do it a different way. You take the cards and do it a different way. But stop calling it the NBA. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. Eventually, if they keep on this path, they're going to be throwing footballs at the rim. I'm telling you, it's going to get weird out there. It's going to get really weird. Dude's going to be sliding around it on rollerblades and tricycles and stuff. It's going to be weird. It's a clown show already. It's just going to get worse. That dude jumping over Kias, what was that, 20 years ago? It's going to get funnier. Trust me. That's the path they're on. No telling what type of situation Wembanyama going to have around the time he's going to be retiring. Who knows? But that's the point. It's like we're trying to bring back competitiveness. We're trying to make it so that at least we can make those who think this is cool see a different side of things and see why we see it this way. It's like, yo, this is why we really want to bring it back, man. So we can keep that competitiveness in you, discipline you to just do things correctly in life. To play team ball. Team. There was wisdom to all of that. It taught us how to be men and women as we learned in sports as kids, because we had to sacrifice our individual stuff for the team. Like, that held weight in the world. This is why people sent their kids to be in football and basketball, because you could teach them how to be men in group settings with other peers. Some kids didn't have little brothers and little sisters to have to sacrifice for, so they needed to be in team settings in order to learn how to share. This is what it's about. It's like the people who are in charge of this don't even understand the concepts that those kids was learning. They didn't learn the lesson, but they in charge of everything now. That's what I'm seeing. It's like they missed the wisdom entirely. There's a team setting, the individual stuff. All that do is make people on your own team feel like they're not on your level, when we know they cannot be. If you're a guy like LeBron James, the last thing we need to be doing is heralding yourself. Of course you're the greatest. God made you that. He didn't make everybody else that, but they are running through a wall for you. They ain't making a tenth of that, but you do want them to rebound the ball for you. They ain't never gonna have themselves heralded as the greatest nothing. But you best believe they need to be doing all they need to do in order for the unit itself to look good. And it's like, I'm just discard everybody else. They don't matter. It's classism. They don't make enough. They ain't affiliated with us. It's like, man, we are upholding all the wrong stuff. All the wrong stuff, man. And we're just marching along like it's the best way to go. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to use my voice while I'm alive to show people what I see here, man. This is all bad. And I'm not going to pretend like it's just me. I hear people having conversations just like this. People are tired of this. We want that competition back. We want to see defense back in the game. We want to see people who are at their best play their best and not have any type of disruption. And look, I'm happy LeBron was able to reach his accomplishment and his goal. But as I look at what I see, and I'm like, man, I just wonder. I wonder how. I don't even know what to say, man. It's a wonderful accomplishment, but I don't trust the field itself. It's like how much of this is already scurred. I didn't study it well enough to know, but The way that they're acting right now, put it like this: the next person that gets 38,000, 38, whatever it is, I'm gonna look at them and say, I know you had a lot of help based on how everything was when I was paying attention to how things were going during certain years, like as in right now. The scores are going up to 151 to 147, and the losing team is cool. I can tell you that he had an entirely different field and a different league to go up against than Kareem did. Entirely different field, man. And so that's what it is, man. I'm tired of talking about it. I hope the Lakers make a good decision with their franchise, this trade included. You know, get a good trade going for yourself. If this is the trade that you can ultimately fall on, I'll probably sign off on it. I think it's a good sweet medium to make LeBron feel like he got something that can help him win, and it allows you still to have some pick equity to carry forth into the future with 29 still in place and a bunch of second rounders, as well as a guy like Vanderbilt, who makes a lot more of what your team is more valuable. It makes some of our forwards more valuable because now they're more expendable. Gives us more of a defensive presence in the paint that ain't Anthony Davis. More size in general, more shooting in general. So it fits all of your needs and gives you just enough upside with a guy like Vanderbilt to feel absolutely good about the price tag on sending Russell Westbrook out and having something return. My hope is that we can reroute Conley somewhere else. That's what I want the Lakers to be trying to work on right now. I respect that Mike Conley is a closer and we need closers. I respect he's a heck of a shooter and we need a shooter. I respect that he can do a lot of the things that I want him to do. The problem is I don't look at him as any upgrade from Dennis Schroeder overall. No upgrade. And if Schroeder's staying on the team and he's eating into Schroeder's minutes and we got more guards to play, including no Russell Westbrook that's 30, I just don't like our size situation at the point guard anymore. Russell Westbrook's out. I think we're going to be leaning on some other guys other than Mike Conley and Dennis Schroeder when we need to keep defenses from hounding those guys and shooting over us if we're intending on actually winning. Which we're probably not, given what we've seen, what we've been talking about for the last 22 minutes. So I just say, okay, if we're going to use these pieces correctly, they can make us happy. If we're going to use the pieces the way we've been using them, probably shouldn't make the trade at all. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. So somebody got to get Darvin to turn into a different type of rotation type of coach, man. We need to hire a rotations coach. That might be my solution. If I'm Jeanie Buss, I'm hiring a coach strictly for that. Darvin's not even in charge of the rotations no more. You're going to coach who's on the floor, but you ain't putting nobody on the floor, bro. It ain't going to be your call on who's on the floor and what matchups. That's somebody else's duty, man. I'm sorry. When a dude shows me he's deficient in a specific area and it's not in my best interest to fire him, I got to take that area out of his control and bring in an expert that can do that specific thing. And if that is not possible, then he do got to go. If I'm trying to win. See what I'm saying? These are all solutions for losing. People don't want to stop losing, so why would we bring them solutions? And that is the point. If you're going to make a trade with the intention of winning, make sure that you intend to win with it. That's all I'm saying. And so my frustration overflows. I just want the Lakers at the end of the day to hear our voices when we say this is not up to standard. Our team is not good enough. We like that we still have a team in LA called the Lakers, but if they're not going to be up to standard, it's going to feel like they're not the Lakers at all. It feels like we got two Clippers in this city. That's what it feels like. One, we got the Clippers organizational brain trust from 1987 in place running the Lakers. That's what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. And they're doing loser stuff for loser reasons, getting loser results and being fine with it, and want everybody else to be fine with it. And I'm telling you, man, that's not acceptable. So that's what it is, man. Ain't much else to talk about. Hopefully they'll get us a trade that we can really enjoy. I want us to do a deal with the Toronto Raptors. If not the Toronto Raptors, and I like some of the stuff that I've heard from other teams as well. But this Utah deal is acceptable. It's acceptable. It's standard. It's fair. because I'm really big on Vanderbilt. That's really what it comes down to. I will very much cheer us getting Jared Vanderbilt, but everything else on there is just nah. And if we can really reroute Mike Conley for something that I'd like, then that'd make me very happy. But if you're bringing back that Mike Conley contract, or if you're just not shopping that and you think that's supposed to be a plus for us, I assure you he's just another small ball player that we're going to hate seeing running around down there. That's all he's going to be. And I'm telling you, man, Mike Conley's dope, but I've seen him in those type of situations already. It doesn't work. Plus, there's something to understand about Mike Conley. It took him a while to get acclimated to what the Utah Jazz did. It took almost a whole half a season for him to start playing well there. So that's something to really consider. Like when he started getting it, he got it. But if that's any indication that he doesn't settle well in the new situations, we might be inheriting a problem. Because that's just one thing that I remember about Mike Conley, because we were expecting so much from him to play so well coming off a good year from Memphis, and then boom, got traded to Utah, and he was not good. He was not good for a while. So it's like, all right, if that's going to be how he is when he goes to new places, the Lakers better understand you're getting him for the second half of the season to win. So study it is what I would tell them. Study that. But yeah, man, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, they will still look for better trades. They'll look for better trades, or they'll try to see if there's another person that would be willing to take Mike Conley. And then, if they're still looking to make a move with the other pick, maybe you can parlay the other pick another direction, which might be the deal anyway. It might be the move. And then you get a bunch of stuff from Utah. Probably try to take Mike Conley, funnel him somewhere else with the first round pick, and then try to bring you back some more stuff. That might be an option. Because for me, it's like, let's get Mike out of that deal, man. Get him out of that deal. I know for sure Danny's getting rid of that contract in our deal, but it don't have to land with us. That does not have to land here. I'm sure we could find someone else besides ourselves who would be willing to take on Mike Conley if we add pick equity. And then, of course, we'd be taking back something that would make us feel good about that. Toronto or something like that. Bring back Fred VanVleet or something. That's how you move, man. That's how you got to do it. You can't just take back stuff you don't want, crap that's no good. Nah. Yes, you can bring it to you, but shop it. Shop it now. Like, get it immediately in the same deal out of here before it has to actually put on your uniform. You get that third team in and you make somebody else take it. So that's what I want us to do. If you want to do the Utah deal, do that, but make sure Mike Conley goes somewhere else. If you do that, get a deal from me. I'm happy. Because that 22 for 2 years, on a small ball player, Jesus, hell no, man. Hell no, not for this team. You're going to give Darvin Mike Conley, and you think that's supposed to be successful for you? I better think twice about that. I know he's the throw-in, but throw him out. BDL44, I'll thank you all for watching.